What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle, and welcome back to Closing Belle. And today, we're not only talking FIFA 21, but what needs to be removed from FIFA 20 heading into FIFA 21. We have a special guest. Barford is going to be joining us shortly, so we can take out our frustrations on each other, apparently. And then we have a guest showdown, all that good material. Let's talk FIFA forecast. This week, the FIFA forecast has been busy. We're getting a lot of movement. We're having storms, still hot outside, evaporation. I slightly paid attention when I was in school, but FIFA 21 news has been present. We have the official gameplay trailer, and the first time we've ever seen esports players featured in any trailer, which as an esports enthusiast makes me very, very happy. We also saw Ultimate Team news talking more about co-op to go with different gameplay developments where we're looking at more agile dribbling, positioning personality, creative runs. If you want an in-depth breakdown, we can put that together. But I just want to touch on some of these new additions and new features as EA is going to offload or unload or provide us with more information as we get closer to FIFA 21. Drum roll, please! But myself and Mr. Barford on the other end are going to do that together. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to talk. I'm so excited. We got all this FIFA 21 news coming out, but today, well, we're gonna kind of, as you said, let our frustrations out on each other here about stuff we don't want in the game that may have been in the game in the past, right? That's what we're doing?
Correct, or at least tone down. And Jake and I have been spending a lot more time together recently, at least online. We've been doing the broadcast. My first frustration, or something that I hope EA removes, takes out, reduces. AI assistance is simply just too high. Offensively, defensively, all the above. I do think there was a misbalance, and that could be a whole another subject, between the defending help that you receive and then the offensive movement. I think the AI on the offensive side needs a lot of reworking, and I'm hoping that EA has done that with FIFA 21 because they've made so many statements about responsiveness and also trying to improve some of the runs and the natural synergy and fluidity that you would have on the offensive end. Fingers are crossed. I don't know how you feel about AI defending, midfield, attacking. It's all
about that skill gap, isn't it? Like, we want to broaden the skill gap, and we want to separate the men from the boys here. AI defending for me is something that it needs to be into some point. You can't have a completely manual game, or else it would lose so many of the casual players, which I feel like is why there is still that huge gap between like so much AI defending in the game. Because if they remove too much, they need the right balance, right?
You're right. Like, if we went all manual, it would only be the pros that would be happy. Only the absolute 1% or maybe the 5% of players that are nasty at the game in every element, every intricacy, and I would be on board with that. I'd be cool with it, but I understand that there are different players that are partaking in your title, and there should be some level maybe of assistance, but this is where it comes back to the B word, balance. Just make sure we're balanced so I can get enough on the offensive side. Give me the tools, the mechanics that are necessary to counteract this ridiculous AI defending.
Because for me, as I know, Mike, I know you're the gameplay guy, right? I'm the menu guy. I'm the one who loves any sort of add-ons. We saw the new custom stadiums that were being added. That's my favorite feature so far, 100%. But objectives in terms of how we unlock specific objectives in the different game modes. One thing we kind of talked about was being limited to, you have to do this in squad battles on legendary difficulty, world-class difficulty. You have to do this in rivals. One thing too that we should mention is, why is it not rivals and foot champs, right? Or,
that's my thing. I'm not saying to take one out. I agree with you. You're right. This has always been my argument all year long, has been, why is this limited to a game mode that happens during the week when most of us don't play as often? And this game mode is extremely competitive. If you're a Division 1 Rivals player, even if you were playing normal games, so not looking for objectives, not having to complete certain tasks, it is sweaty, it is intense. You can't play a bunch of games in a row without getting some level of frustration, even if you're winning. You can tell that I'm adamant about this. I don't understand why they don't add the most played game mode into the mix. It's still not easy. Foot champs is very difficult for most people, especially as you get to the later stages towards the end of the weekend league. Give us the option that we can maybe sub in some of these French guys and knock out the objective, or the English players, or unique crosses, or whatever it might be, because I can't speak on your behalf, but I don't naturally play squad battles. So it's a grind when I have to play squad battles to do this. And with Rivals, I guess the only positive is that we have seen an announcement with FIFA 21 where Rivals is now co-op, where you have the option for co-op.
Yeah.
So we should be able to do those with a friend.
And I wonder if they're gonna do something where it's like you have to be in co-op to, like, that could be a new objective. Because
you're right. They're not gonna open-ended, are they? They're not gonna make it open-ended. You're right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But in terms of kind of what we're saying that needs to be eliminated, you should be able to do each objective in any given game mode. It would relieve a lot of the stress, you know, going into Rivals, knowing that you need to do this, and your opponent most likely is going for something too. And we see people, you know, leaving as soon as they know they're not going to get the reward, and different things like that. So spread it out and remove that. We want to be able to do them in every game mode, right, Mike?
Agree, and it would still be challenging. Another thing that kind of irritates me a little bit, and it might be gone in FIFA 21. I haven't seen an official announcement, but they did announce that there's not going to be squad fitness cards or fitness cards that are needed, or
That's
contracts,
huge.
Correct?
Yeah, it's huge.
So that's a big shift. I think that was inevitable. It should have always happened. But the same I'm going to say is, if we still have injuries, why do we have injuries in Ultimate Team? Why do I need to fix that? They shouldn't get hurt. They just
especially
competitively,
competitively, right? Like, if you're in like a game and one of your players gets hurt and it causes you to concede a goal, like what's the point of that, right? You know, leave the injuries for career mode. I feel like, because that's where the realism comes in there.
Even the same for managers for me, which might not be a popular opinion. They don't do a lot right now. They can help you a little bit with chemistry. I would rather have managers that gave you some sort of actual benefit. I don't know what you would want to ship this, what direction you want to take the managerial role, but if it had anything to do with tactics, I think that would be very unique. Maybe
tactics would be nice.
Right.
I know Pez does that. That's what Pez has in their sort of Ultimate Team is you sign a manager and you can only use specific formations when using that manager. Now that could be a little bit tricky because people want to use whatever formation they want. But I do agree that managers need something else.
They need a kicker.
Something.
Like, give them something to make them matter. At this point, I really don't feel like they matter that much, other than, can I get a slight chemistry bump that we can't necessarily measure perfectly?
Yeah.
Like, what is truly the difference between 8 and 9 chem or 9 and 10 chem?
Yeah, there's a lot too that can be unlocked there. Imagine like if managers had something else to them. Imagine like icon managers somewhere down the road. Like, that could be so cool. There's like definitely like an untapped market there that EA could do with managers that could add a whole nother element into Ultimate Team to make it just crazy. I feel like this is the perfect follow-up. Cards that are kind of just useless in the game. The Champions League cards, the Libertadores cards that we got, not the ones that upgrade after the team wins, but just like the normal base and rare cards. Why even have that? I know SBCs, but it just got, especially towards the end, if you did some of the SBCs that required them when they weren't even in packs too, it just got so annoying. I feel like it's just another way to just throw in another card type, add another kicker to the SBCs, but there was really no point in using them at all. They were the same rating, right? No sort of upgrade at all.
I was very confused. I think the biggest frustration, or maybe something that's slightly annoying with the UCL foot items, is that they lasted all year long. I was packing them for 6, 7, 8 months straight, and there was no opportunity for this to improve other than it was blue. And if anything, once you got the team of the season, or even team of the year, you thought you might have a team of the year. And you're like, why are these guys there? There's a few cards, the Libertadores, like you were saying. They had these Europa League, I think, man of the match foot items. They have the man of match in general. I just didn't find any value in them this year. And I understand that EA is going to have some hit and miss. We're going to have new promos that we really like, and I'll give you a few that I thought were really great. I liked Foot Birthday this year. I like Shapeshifter, the concept behind it. Obviously, team of the season. We've always appreciated icons. I even like the Scream. I thought Scream had a lot of valuable foot items that were introduced. But these were duds, and they let them go on forever. And if you're going to let them at least be in packs at all times, I'd rather it be a valuable item as opposed to something that's never going to be usable. And my last thing on my list, can you remove, take out, reduce, delay? The delay is just so heavy and inconsistent. My internet.
You have perfect internet, man. You're 1,000 up, 1,000 down, 0 ping. Like,
biggest flex of my career, my life. And my ping, 1 to 3. That's where it fluctuates. Nowhere higher.
You should have no delay, no lag, nothing when you play.
I delay, and I don't know if it's just because I'm in New York and a lot of my opponents maybe aren't that close to me. They're not on the East Coast. I'm not sure. But I delay probably over the weekend at least half the games.
As the years have gone on, and especially in this last year, just more communication with EA about this stuff. They've already started to show it as to like what they're working on to improve it, their plans, why why you may experience delay over other people. We need that communication because, you know, it's not always going to be perfect. It should be most of the time.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another guest showdown. Today's going to be very interesting. We have not done anything like this guest showdown, and I think it's a great concept, quality idea. So we're in FIFA 20 towards the end. The last decade of FIFA has been a lot of iterations and releases of foot items, especially players that have been active throughout those 10 years. So we're going to get a player name, and we have to guess the highest rated foot item. It's going to be always a base gold foot item. And then we're going to be using this Ultimate Team. Last decade, started in FIFA 10. We're in FIFA 20, 10 years. I think that's right. This all sounds right. I haven't seen any of this. Jake hasn't seen any of this. This should be good. Also, if both of us are wrong, it's whoever's closest. First choice, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Highest rated for Ronaldo. Okay. I think I know this.
No, I think I know this too. I put 94.
I did as well.
Cool. Messi is the next choice.
Okay. I'm not as confident on this one, but I think I got it.
I also believe that I have this. I don't think either of them have ever been higher than the other one. I hope I gave a speech that's right. Otherwise, I'm completely wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about. David Beckham. I put an 80.
I did as well.
Ibrahimovic. Interesting. I put 89. All right. Nicholas Bettner. Troll player in FIFA.
Bettner. What are you going for?
I think this is going to be a decider. I went 78. Wayne Rooney. Yeah, this is I'm telling you, I'm really enjoying this one. We've done a lot of football-based ones. This is a nice change-up back in like Wayne Rooney. I'm going for a big bold 92. This next one with Tim Howard, I'm going to feel terrible about because I'm an Everton supporter and I do not know off top for sure what he peaked at.
No idea. I got 84.
And I went 83.
I think you're going to get it.
Philip Lahm. Wow.
Where are you at?
87. Vincent Kompany. Had to be when he was playing at City, which is kind of more recent time. I got 87.
I got 89.
That wraps up another guest showdown. Thanks for coming on. Where can the people find you?
At B4Lancer48, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok now. Caffeine is where I do my live streams, caffeine.tv, so check me out.
Quality TikToker. I've been watching a lot of your TikToks. I need to figure out that game myself. I'm envious.
It's fun.
But we appreciate you, and I have a lot more content coming out for you ASAP. ASAP.